I'm going to share my screen with you, ladies, so you can see my presentation. You can definitely butt in and ask questions while I'm doing my presentation. And then at the end of it, we will, as I said, I will pause the recording so that you can ask, if you want to ask more detailed personal questions, that will stay anonymous. So I'm going to now share the screen, and if anyone joins us in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if anyone joins us in the middle, they will come in. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, I would like to, okay, we're going to keep this window over here. I'm just going to put it over there. Okay, so you can see me at the top. I did, the first time I did it, I hid myself, my video also, so that it wasn't distracting, but then people said they really liked to see me as I was presenting also. So I hope you can see the presentation. I hope you can see a little bit of me. You also may see some of the other black boxes of women here, but the video should be of me, and you should be able to see the presentation. If there's a problem, let me know, okay? So today we are doing the Busting the 3 Menopause Myths presented by me, and I am Jacqueline Rose. And let me tell you, here we go. So who am I? I am founder of the Yoga Room. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a women's health advocate. I have trained over the years as yoga teacher for pregnancy and birth. I've trained as a yoga teacher for women's health, and I've also trained in using yoga as a therapeutic tool. I'm really passionate about changing the way that women experience their health and wellness, and about creating the awareness and understanding of what is going on in their bodies using a yoga-based approach to all of that. So really my language of dealing with health and wellness issues is yoga. That is a picture of me, which you can see. So who am I really behind that world of yoga? This sort of encompasses a lot of who I am. Those 5 butts over there all belong to me. I am a mum of 5. I am a yoga teacher. I'm a yogapreneur. I'm a businesswoman. I am a multitasker. I do lots of different things. I do a lot of the household chores and errands, and that picture of the rugby scrum is very often how I feel my life is, just down deep in the mud, juggling everything, dealing with everything. On Sunday night when I did the second webinar, I literally just come out of a 2-hour, oh, someone else is entering, let's just see. I had just, hello, new welcome person, Malka, hi. We've just started. I'm just introducing myself. Let me make sure that you can hear me.
Good. What?
Hi, Malka, is that you?
Yes.
Hello, so we've just started. I'm Jacqueline. I'm going to ask you that if you want to put your sound on mute, you can. If you want to ask, you can mute it, and then if you want to ask questions during the presentation, you can. But don't put your video on for the moment, because I would like everyone to stay anonymous while I'm presenting, because I'm recording. But then at the end of it, after I finish recording, if you want to, we're going to have a Q&A afterwards, a whole discussion. You can then turn on your video afterwards. So if you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself at the moment. And we're just started. We're a couple of minutes in. I was just saying that this is my life, and that on Sunday night when I gave the webinar, I had literally come out of a 2-hour temper tantrum with my youngest. So that rugby scrum of being stuck in the mud and doing all that stuff, that is also part of my life. In addition to that nice, calm, beautiful picture of a woman doing yoga, that is not me. But those 5 tushes do belong to me. So we're going to move swiftly on and get to the main point of what we are discussing here. And that is, when you hear the word menopause, what do you think or feel? And feel free to unmute yourselves at the moment if you'd like, and just shout out a couple of things that come to your head when you hear the word menopause. I don't want to prejudge or preconceive what you may think, so either feel free to shout out and share with me. What do you think of when you hear the word menopause?
Change.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else? Rachel, Malka, Belinda?
Age, I would say.
Age.
The moving of age, change of age.
Yes. In a negative way? Or just not
mostly
necessarily?
negative. Mostly negative, a little bit of positive too, but I would
Okay.
say more negative.
Okay. Okay, so for many people, when they hear the word menopause, there is a lot of negative emotions, negative connotations related to that. And we're going to explore 3 of those issues or images, or what I call myths, because I don't think they're real. I think it's the way that we have come to understand menopause. And so we're going to just explore those and try and really reverse that way of thinking. So the first myth that a lot of people have, or the first understanding about menopause, is that menopause means the beginning of the end. As Rachel said, it's sort of aging. There's a lot of change going on. The reason why menopause is conceived as, or perceived as being the beginning of the end, is because for so many years, women did not live long, healthy lives post-menopause. Menopause really was the beginning of the end of the next short phase of their life. But menopause is not a disease. It's not something that you are going to die from. It is a natural stage in your life journey. Women traditionally have not had the opportunity to live full, meaningful lives over the age of 60. The fact that women are leading long, healthy, full, vibrant lives well into their 80s and 90s is a relatively new phenomenon. As life expectancy has increased, health and wellness attitudes have changed, improvements in socioeconomic status, life post-menopause is just waiting there for you. About 50, 60 years ago, a woman's life expectancy was about 70. Now a woman's life expectancy is well into her 80s. So just practically things are changing, and that concept that you only had a few good years after menopause just doesn't really hold anymore. This is a quote by Dr. Christiane Northrup, who really is one of the pioneers in changing the way that women view their life experience, and menopause specifically. Menopause is being recognized as the exciting next stage of a woman's life. It holds enormous promise for transforming, which is what Katie said, transformation, change, and healing our bodies, minds, and spirits at the deepest level. So the second myth that we often perceive is that menopause means suffering. And my next slide is slightly depressing, because it really is all the different things that we understand menopause to include. Media, culture is full of all the negative symptoms. And this is only just a short list. Anything from physical changes of hot flashes, change in your period, night sweats, to slightly more emotional changes of mood swings, feeling low or depressed, lack of energy, to more cognitive things of fuzzy brain and forgetfulness. All these things, and the jokes that there are, these stereotypes there are of women who are going through the change, women who are in menopause, really fill us with this dread of fear, suffering. That is what menopause must involve. And I want to say that there are a multitude of side effects that women can experience during menopause. And because menopause is not a disease, I will not use the word symptoms, because symptoms connotates illness or disease. There are absolutely potential side effects that you may experience on your menopause journey. But if you understand what is going on in your body and prepare for this stage of life, then you will find ways to manage, treat, and prevent many of the menopausal side effects. And I think that a really important element of being on your menopause journey is really understanding what is going on in your body, because that will change the way you understand and experience and can relate to all these things that are happening and be prepared for them. So that therefore, when something all of a sudden happens, it's not coming out of the blue or unexpected or from a place of fear, but you can be in a place of preparedness and know that there are ways to manage and treat it. Where is my... Okay. So the next myth is that menopause is only for women 50 plus. And I love this myth, because this is the way that most women perceive menopause. The average age for menopause is 51. However, you may not realize that menopause is actually a date in the calendar. Menopause, you can only actually look back on and see 12 months later when you had, it's the date of your last period. Perimenopause is that journey leading up to menopause and can start anywhere from the age of 42 to 45. Women who are experiencing early menopause can even be going through that in earlier years. So menopause itself, the average age for menopause is 51. It is a date in the calendar year. It's a date in the calendar of when you have your last period, but for years leading up to that date and for a few years after that date, you can be on your menopause journey. Perimenopause is all those years prior to that date of menopause. Postmenopausal years are those years afterwards, and you can be experiencing menopausal symptoms from anywhere between 7 to 13 years. So a woman who all of a sudden at the age of 45, 47, 48 may be experiencing different health changes, go to her doctor and not even realize what's happening to her, because don't talk to me about menopause, I'm only 48. She may even still have young kids at home. So the concept that she would be potentially on her menopause journey just wouldn't even occur to her. And so she will be treated for these symptoms as on a one-to-one basis without having the whole picture being considered. So as your hormones begin to change, your body responds. And that is really what is going on during perimenopause and your menopause journey. It's something that I really want to talk about. We will talk about in a second. Okay, so just to recap the 3 myths. Menopause means the beginning of the end. We know that is not the case, because you can have a good 30, 35 years post-menopause of full life to live. Menopause means suffering. Yes, there are side effects, but if you prepare and understand how they can be treated, you don't need to suffer through them. And menopause is only for women 50 plus? Absolutely not, because your menopause journey can start many, many years before then. So you really need to be prepared. So what would happen if you changed the way you related to and experienced your menopause journey? How could things look different to the preconceived ideas that we have of it? So I'm going to give you 3 tips. Tip number 1 is prepare for your menopause journey. Just like we prepare for puberty and pregnancy, we need to educate ourselves about perimenopause. The mothers amongst us will know that we take preparing our daughters or our younger family members, female members, we take preparing them for puberty very seriously. We buy the books. Oh, have I just lost internet? Hello? Can you all hear me? I seem to have disappeared.
I hear you.
Oh, my video seems to have stopped. Ah, no, I'm back. We take preparing our daughters for puberty very, very seriously. We buy the books. I think my video has stopped. I'm not quite sure why my video is doing all funny things, but I'm still here. You can all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to, you know what, I'm just going to close this for a minute so that we don't get distracted by the fact that the video isn't working. So we buy the books, we talk to them, we go and have the conversation, we discuss about becoming a woman, we talk about what it means to have your body in change. We really want to educate our daughters so that they are not shocked when they start their period and their body is changing. We take that and we really prepare our daughters for it. let's not talk about pregnancy. That is an absolute massive industry of the what to expect when you're expecting genre of really preparing you with the classes and the education and the hospital visits and the wealth of information that is out there to prepare you for pregnancy. And what happens when it comes to menopause? Quiet. There's just nothing. No one talks about it. No one is discussing it. No one is educating about it, and no one is really wants to go there and talk about perimenopause or menopause. I think partly because of all this media culture behind the concept that menopause is for old women, and if you talk about menopause, it means you're getting old and you're aging. So we really want to prepare, educate ourselves, empower ourselves to understand our hormones, understand what's happening in our body, and don't be afraid when things start to change. It's a new stage of life, and we need to prepare ourselves for it, just like we prepare for all the other stages in our lives. Okay, I've lost my video, and I would like to get it back. So I'm going to just stop sharing for 1 second so I can try and get my video back, ladies. Yay,
there you are.
Yippee. Okay, I'm going to share again. And we do not want to leave that. We want to get back here. Okay, so tip number 2. We've talked about preparing for menopause just like we prepare for other stages in our life journey. Tip number 2 is talk to the women in your family. And I think research has shown that women experience perimenopause and menopause very similar to the way their mothers experience perimenopause and menopause. And I really feel that we need to open up the conversation. You want to talk to your children, your daughters, about the experience you're going through on your perimenopause journey, because you will be going through potentially a lot of different changes, and you want them to know what's happening with you. And you want to go and speak to your mother, your aunts, older women, mentors, women that you trust, women that you have a connection with, to speak to them about their experiences. We need to start creating this conversation, this intergenerational conversation between our older, wiser women who have experienced it and been there, us who are going through it, and our daughters, so that they can know what to expect, and that they're sort of that this is just a natural stage of life, and really learn, speak to our women, learn from them, and explain to the next generation. And this intergenerational, and for those I have been when I did this webinar actually on Sunday, there were women there whose mothers have passed away, and I know that there are plenty of women at our age whose mothers are not around anymore. And I think that speaking to your aunts, speaking to women mentors, speaking to women that you trust and that you have a relationship with is just as good. You just want to be able to open the lines of dialogue. If you have a mother, speak to her. If you have a daughter, speak to her. If you don't have, just speak. Allow that intergenerational conversation to happen in as best a way as is available to you. Speak to your sisters, speak to your cousins. You want to create this women's tribe, women experience together with whichever women you feel connected with. And the third tip I have is build a healthcare team. And this is really, really crucial. There are many ways to treat, manage, and prevent menopausal side effects. There's no one size fits all. And I do not, I am not against you going to see your doctor as a first port of call. You should go and see your doctor as a first port of call, but it should not be the only healthcare professional you see. There are many ways to treat menopausal side effects, And often doctors are not really educated in the best treatments out there. Doctors usually, what I've heard from many women, is that doctors will do a blood test because that is the definitive sort of diagnosis as to whether, again, diagnosis because menopause is a health condition. The diagnosis of whether you are in menopause or postmenopause based on your hormone level. But other than that, many doctors do not have the range of knowledge or advice to be able to give women. So every woman's menopause journey is different, and you need to find the things that work for you as a healthcare wide-ranging thing, not just I went to my doctor and I didn't get very much joy from it, which is what I hear from a lot of women. Find the things that you need to help you. Don't go to your doctor, but don't stop just there. So for me, personally, yoga is my language of health and well-being. And I want to really talk to you about how you can use yoga on your menopause journey. So it's a holistic way to manage, treat, and prevent menopausal side effects. And what is unique about yoga is that it targets both the physical and the emotional experience. And by doing that, it creates a much deeper way of experiencing your menopause journey, because we're not just treating certain things in an ad hoc way. We're really looking at the whole person, who you are, what you're experiencing. So how is it that yoga can provide so many benefits? So I have a few ways here. Yoga allows you to create time and space for yourself so that you can listen to what your body needs at this very moment. When you lie on the mat, it is just you. It is a time for you to listen to what your body is telling you, which we don't really give ourselves the opportunity to, because we're so busy. So we just don't allow ourselves that time and space to listen to what our body is telling us, listen to what our body needs. There are specific poses that directly help manage, treat, and prevent menopausal side effects. So as you go through a yoga sequence, someone who understands how to use yoga for women's health and yoga for your menopause journey knows that there are really specific poses that help manage a lot of the symptoms you may be experiencing. You come out after the session just feeling different because of the actual poses and the practice you've done. Techniques to strengthen connection with your authentic self. Women on their menopause journey often, which is sort of, again, what popular culture has termed that midlife crisis, women are going through significant hormonal changes, and those hormonal changes result in a lot of emotional changes. Finding yourself, finding your place, redefining yourself. And so you really want to connect and reconnect with your authentic self, find out who that new person is that is being created through this transformation process. Breathing techniques to help relax and calm you, and practice sessions to help to balance and manage your hormones. So in addition to the specific poses that you do, there is also yoga. The yoga approach that I take is really about allowing your hormones to get more in balance, so they're not this wide range. The wide range of erratic hormonal changes is what causes significantly many of the menopause side effects. And if you can get those hormones slightly less erratic and get them more under control, your menopausal side effects will be reduced. So we really want to get those hormones in balance. So how can you transform your menopause experience? Your menopause journey is an exciting time, a time of rebirth, metamorphosis, and discovery. It's a journey that you have to take to enter the next exciting phase of your life. And I actually was at a conference today, and one of the speakers there talked about when you go through a life change, part of that life change is the loss of the person you were before. And so involved in that loss, involved in that sort of separation from the person you were before, it is a very, very emotional journey. So menopause journey can be very, very emotional, very turbulent. But what awaits on the other side is an amazing, amazing richness to life that you didn't have before. Insight, understanding, wisdom, the ability to see things in a different way that you really didn't have in your pre-menopause years. So it may be a tough journey as you're going through it, as you're going through that transformation, but what awaits on the other side is just fullness and riches. And so we really want to get ourselves through that to enjoy the next exciting stage of our lives. So I am presenting to you tonight a brand new online course that I'm launching that is related to changing our whole experience of menopause, and it's called Your Empowered Menopause, a yoga-based program to transform your menopause journey. And I'm really passionate about this because I know that a lot of women do experience menopause in a very negative way, and that is changing. The conversation is changing, and I want to allow you to really get involved in that changing experience that is happening. So what is my program? It is you have a pre-course health and wellness assessment. There are 5 units of theory and practice looking at each of the 3 types of menopausal side effects: physical, emotional, and cognitive, and how to manage that. How to navigate the whole menopause journey, learning what is happening in your body during this time, primarily about your hormones, preparing for your post-menopause fulfilling, amazing life, and a post-course health and wellness assessment, looking at sort of tracking the changes that hopefully you've gone through during the time of the course. You will also get private Facebook group for sharing thoughts and homework and asking advice, live weekly Q&As in the Facebook group, and a weekly yoga practice as part of the unit. So it's not just theory, it's real practice. It's allowing you to do yoga practice in your home at your own pace, at your own time, through my guidance. The price for this course is $197. It is a cheap price because this is my maiden launch of the course. It is a beta course. I am really looking for people who are excited to join a brand new course, so it is not an expensive course. And for those people, today is my last webinar. For those people who want to sign up by the end of today, you get the bonus unit, I'm All Woman, which is really tapping into that authentic woman voice, feminine voice, and a one-on-one private consultation. So you're going to get your pre and post health and wellness assessment, your 5 study units, weekly yoga sessions, Facebook group, weekly Q&As, your bonus unit, and your one-on-one private consultation if you join the early bird registration for $197. And I am out of breath with that long, long list of all the things that are available to you. So this is what my program is, and this is what I am now launching. I'm really passionate about this, and I would love for anyone who is interested to join, and I will be publicizing this much, much more over the coming weeks, so you'll be able to see it all over Facebook, because this is where you can go to register, and I'll be sharing this link afterwards. Because for me, your menopause journey is really that exciting time, going back to the original idea of how we want to change the way we experience our menopause journey. It's the journey you have to take to step into the next exciting phase of your life. So that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to stop sharing because I want to allow everyone a chance to come on and discuss and talk and ask questions if you have. I would love to hear feedback. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to